Hi,
How
I'm
are
Alex
you?
Littlefield. Doing pretty good. My day off after a long week of work, and I'm ready to kind of hang out and talk to you about random. I didn't really read over the questions as much as I should have. Like I said, I just kind of went for it and just like, all right, you know what? I'm just gonna see what happens and see what sticks. But yeah, I'm here. I'm enjoying this so far, and I love that you look like Mr. Bob Dylan back there. So that's pretty great. So yeah,
And,
thank
and
you for
I
having me
love
on.
that you think that. Thank you. Yeah, of course. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled uh, that you agreed. I have had no idea what I was getting into, and I'm glad that people are ready to explore with me. So
Yeah, it's a cool idea. I think
this
it's
is gonna be
awesome.
fun. I appreciate that. So
And
we said who you are. Um, let's talk about your platforms for how long. Where do you stream, Alex?
I stream on Twitch. I've been streaming for. I'm kind of embarrassed to say, just because like I haven't been as consistent with streaming as I am currently. So let's say I started in 2013,
Okay,
and I
wow.
only just got serious about 2 years ago, if that. And I'm usually on and off with streaming, but since COVID happened, I just decided to do it anyways, and I've been consistent with it since then, and I'm pretty excited to see where everything goes. But let's say 2013 is when I started.
Okay, wonderful. So yeah, you've been in the game for a little while.
Unfortunately, I was there at the sort of like the start after Jack TV happened. Went defunct, and then the gaming section of Jack TV turned into Twitch TV. And I followed a guy named Man versus Game. He was one of the first like big streamers on Twitch, and since then I was like, I want to do what he does, where he talks to people and plays video games. Who doesn't want a job like that, you know? So I decided to kind of just try my hand at it with my crappy little laptop and play little crappy games. In fact, the first game I ever played was Sunset Riders on stream. And I only mentioned that because Sarah also mentioned that on her bio, and I was like, "That's awesome!"
Yep.
Sunset Riders was the first game I ever tested. So yeah,
That's awesome. Yeah, I think that's the first thing that Sarah said about you, um, because I think I had been kind of introduced through either like raid or host or whatever. I had seen you that way, but then Sarah said, "Oh my God, you have to you have to check out Alex. He likes Sunset Riders."
it's a great game, and my raid song is actually the Sunset Riders theme song, which is my one of my all time favorite video game like tunes, I guess you can say. But yeah, great minds think alike, and I'm actually really stoked that you reached out to me because I saw you through Rel, Black Arrow, and Will and all them, and they talked highly of you. And they say you have a cute dog, and I was like, man, I gotta be friends with this guy. This guy sounds awesome. I'm just very socially awkward. I don't reach out to people as much as I should. I'm just kind of there. So streaming is that platform for me to kind of be who I'm not normally in real life, I guess you can say. I'm more
Yeah,
talkative on stream. So.
yeah, definitely. And that's exactly the point of these interviews. I want to know what you're really like, because you get the on stream persona. There's whether how strong that mix is, right? Whether they're way different than
Streamers
real
get
life,
free
or
IT support from
it's
Alex.
just
So
it's
just let
just a
me know
little
what you
coat of
guys need, and
polish to
I'll
be
be there for
that's
you
awesome.
guys.
I want to get to know what people are really like, and let's jump into the questions. Alex, what is the first game that you remember playing? Very
As a
first memory.
kid,
Very
or
first
like
memory of video games.
so the first game I ever played. I don't know if you guys remember these small handheld Tiger toys that were electronic.
Uh huh.
They're called Tiger, and the first one I played was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game on that little thing. There's these little small like black orbs that move around, and that's the first time I was introduced to video games because they're easy, two buttons to push, and it works. But the first full on game that I actually got really into, and I remember passing as a kid, it was Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past.
Link
That
to
was
the
my favorite
Past.
game. Yeah, so that's the first game I ever passed. I was around 5 years old when I played it, and I was obsessed with it. And I played with it almost every day. We had a PC, a family PC. And my brother was really into piracy, so we got all these emulators and ROMs on the game on the computer, and that was the first game I picked up, and that's the first game I fell in love with, and that's what kind of started it all for me in terms of video games.
Wow, very cool. Okay, so another Zelda. I've gotten that would have been probably my answer as well. Not Link to the Past, but I also spoke with Joe, and his was Ocarina of Time, which would
Mhm.
have been my same,
Yours
first
was
game.
Ocarina of Time.
But
It's
yeah.
funny. I anytime I speak to anyone about Zelda, oh, there it is. There it is. I don't want to sound mean. I don't like Ocarina of Time. I didn't like Majora's Mask. I know. People crucify me for this because those are considered two of the best Zelda games, and they changed the game for Zelda. And I agree 100% that they're amazing in their own right. But for me personally, I liked Link to the Past just because it had that flavor that I liked. The top-down 16-bit graphic, the music was incredible. A lot of the music was derived from that onto the newer games. It set the tone for what Zelda is to me, and that's why it stuck with me for so long. But I'm actually kind of hoping they re-release Ocarina of Time for like the Switch and like updated graphics or something. That way, I can actually play through it and not criticize it as much as I do currently.
Like they did with Wind Waker. I think they did that
Yeah,
for what, for the
in
was it
fact,
for the Switch
that's
or for the Wii
that's
U?
my second favorite Zelda game is Wind Waker. I love the art style. I can't get over the cutesiness of it. It's so good.
We agree 100% there. That is my second favorite Zelda game. That's fantastic. Yeah, I
Yeah, it's a
remember
great
coming up
game.
on that one. I was 9 years old or something when I played that one.
9 years old for Zelda too. Wow. Wait, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I don't mind at all. I just turned 28.
You're a youngin. I'm 55.
Wow, you
No,
don't look you don't look a
I'm
day
kidding.
over 29.
I'm just a year older. I'm 29. I'm turning 30 on the 28th of this month, which I'm not happy about because it's COVID time, so I can't really celebrate. And
Right.
I think I'm doing a retro stream during that time, kind of playing through all my old childhood favorites, kind of what led me up to being this weird 30-year-old and what shaped me in my life. So I might be doing that for a little birthday stream. So we'll see.
I wonder if
We'll
we're
see.
gonna see some Link to the Past.
That's actually something that I had in mind. There's a randomizer that I was looking into, so it'll randomize the game for me, so it'll keep it fresh. So I might do something like that.
Oh, very interesting. Okay, and that will be the 28th of this month,
This
and
month, yeah.
and we're looking at a day long stream. Are you gonna have the whole day off to just enjoy?
I probably won't have the day off. Well, actually, I might have the day off. It's a Monday, so usually Mondays are my day off. So if I do that, it won't be like an all day stream, but I will be properly inebriated through most of that stream. So if
Okay.
you guys want to come watch me act a fool and just answer any questions and just hang out, definitely drop by the channel. It's completely fine. Totally cool if no one wants to drop by. I'm going to be having a good time on my own. So if you guys want to share in that, you're more than welcome to come.
Well, we'll make sure to pump that out and spread the word so that we can all enjoy Alex's birthday with him. Um, well, I think we touched on my second question, which was the first game that really got you hooked. I believe that was Link to the
Oh,
Past.
oh, it was not.
It was not.
A Link to the Past opened up gaming for me.
Okay.
What really hooked me was a game called Breath of Fire. Breath of Fire 4, to be exact, for the PS1. I remember playing. So I lived in a really bad neighborhood as a kid, unfortunately, and my brother bought us a PlayStation 1 because he was in the army, and he kind of just sent it over from that. And with it came with a game called Breath of Fire,
Okay.
and that game it's one of the games I played put so many hours into that game. I would say over 800 hours on Breath of Fire, and I remember my brother coming home being so disappointed that I haven't gone outside or anything like that. He deleted my save file, and it
Oh
was so
no.
sad. I had over 1,000 hours on the game almost, and I was so upset that I made it my mission in life to be successful and play games. Most of my life, which I am in the gaming industry now, so I'm pretty happy with that. But I kind of showed him. But I made it my mission to to prove to him that it's not a loser thing to play video games, and I think I did a pretty good job in my 30 years to kind of prove that. And now I can play Breath of Fire all I want without him deleting my save files.
Terrific. Back it up to the cloud.
Exactly.
Okay, so then we did just start on what made you want to be a content creator. You well maybe it touches on why you wanted to be a content creator. Does the story of your brother deleting your save file, does that blend into why you wanted to become a content creator, or did you want to
Um,
do something more than what you just described?
I wanted to do something more than what I just said. I actually wanted to be a part of the gaming industry in terms of like developer side, programmer side. Like I love computers. I love working with any kind of code and script, C++ and stuff like that. So I currently work with Activision and as a special operations team member, and that's something I never thought I was going to do in my life. Seeing my names in like a credit sequence in a video game like Modern Warfare or Warzone or Crash Bandicoot and stuff like that. It's surreal to me. Anytime I see that, I'm like, dude, that's amazing. That's my name right there. That's incredible. So I send it over to my brother and tell him like, hey, look what I did. You were wrong. But that wasn't the reason why I wanted to become a content creator. Actually, believe it or not, my really good friend Black Arrow, he's the one that kind of got me into that stuff. I saw the way he made his videos, how passionate he was about it, and then he's normally a really shy guy because I know him in real life. And we're both really socially awkward. We don't really talk very much. And in person, we're just like clammy and we're just like to ourselves. And online, we have this different personality. And it's kind of like our alter ego, essentially. Like, you know how in that movie, Do Where's My Car? There's like Smokey McPot. Mine's Alex of the Field, essentially. So that's me. What you're seeing now, this isn't how I am in real life as much as I should be. Unfortunately, I'm really quiet. But when I'm online and the camera's on me and I'm talking to people, I feel like I can share more of myself and my life in hopes that someone would drop in and be like, oh, hey, this guy's almost like me and we share a lot of similar interests. Let's be friends, kind of thing. And that's what got me into content creation. It was Black Arrow's doing. I saw his passion. I saw the way he interacts with people. And that's what I wanted to end up doing as well. Not per se the same thing. It's just something that really caught my attention, and I figured, you know what, I need more friends. I need a I need better life experiences, and this is a good way of doing it, especially during COVID, where
Oh yeah,
everything's kind of messed up. So I mean, I met you through all this stuff, and that's insane, and you're a freaking
we did.
awesome guy. So yeah, so I've been trying to do my best at content creation. It's a little tough, but I think I'm getting the hang of it a little bit.
Well, that's terrific. Yeah, and you mentioned Black Arrow. Yeah, definitely didn't know he was a quiet guy in real life, because I would
Yeah,
not pick that up from him from
yeah,
watching him
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
online. That's good to know. I'm gonna note that for later if I get to get Rel on the show.
That's why we were drawn to each other. We just kind of knew. We were like, yeah, we know, we
I'm gonna
know.
keep that in my back pocket. What Alex? When was the first time you went live? We had talked about you've been on Twitch since Jack TV.
Yeah.
So
Well, so after Jack, a little bit after Jack TV happened.
okay, so
So
just about
yeah,
that time. When do
yeah.
you remember the first date that you went live?
Um, I remember it was summertime, August, and I had my crappy little laptop, and I was like, "Oh, I could be just like Man versus Game. I can just sit here and like play games." And I was dead wrong. I didn't know anything about computers at the time, so I didn't realize I needed a good graphics card. I didn't know I needed a good processor. I didn't know I needed a capture card, stuff like that. But the first time I went officially live was with Sunset Riders, and me and my current roommate Carlos, the Messiah. If you guys ever watch me play, it's with him. He was on it with me, and we were just kind of messing around. And from that spun the idea of starting a stream team, where if I wasn't able to stream one time, maybe another person can. So I don't know if people know in chat or you know who Will is. Silent Will. He's one of my
Yes,
best friends.
yes, love
We
Silent
have we
Will.
had a we had a stream team, and we were called T-Rex Gaming because we love Tyrannosaurus Rex. We love dinosaurs. So we're like, fuck it, let's call it TRX Gaming. Let's make a podcast and let's start a team. And we did. And it went horribly wrong. I was really bad at management. I didn't know how to set up schedules. I didn't know how to do rules. It was a learning experience and it was a good time. But with that, birthed something that I hold dear to me still, and something I'm going to revive soon this year or next year. It's called Retro Nights with a K. Knights with a K. It's me and the Messiah. We kind of took it upon ourselves to play every single co-op game that was ever released from NES to current gen, and we stopped on SNES with Streets of Rage. And we're gonna
Streets
pick
of
it back up from
Rage.
there again. Yeah, Streets of Rage 2 was the last one we played.
Awesome.
Then the newest one that just came out, we also play that. And he's also in chat right there. I see him.
Yeah, there he is.
So from there, we did Retro Nights, and it's something I wanted to stick with, but unfortunately, I got a job, and I had to spend X amount of hours at work, and I would come home and I'll be tired, and there was a long period where I didn't stream, so maybe 3 years passed, and I just kind of put it in the back burner. So 2016 was was the next time you would hear from my channel and stuff like that again.
Okay. Yeah. Real life gets in the way, and then priorities get shifted. So we'll say, yeah. So around August 2013, that was the first time you went live, and then kind of that resurgence,
Little
2016.
scoop.
Yeah, a little extra. I don't
It's
know.
a weird.
I get the hand
weird.
talking from my mother. She talks with her hands and does like things like
Hey,
this all
I
the time.
understand. My dad's side's part Sicilian, so we talk with our hands a lot. So yeah, so I
Okay.
completely understand.
What are some challenges you've faced while being a streamer or slash creator?
A few different things. Other than the usual burnout and the usual not being motivated enough to do so after work, I've had a few different like self-image issues, social anxiety issues where I would go live, I will have a great time, but then after I'd be left feeling kind of like not great about what just occurred essentially. And it was more so about me being disingenuous with myself. Like I was trying to play a character that wasn't me, and it's something that I've kind of struggled with for a little bit. And now that I've grown and I've learned who I am and all that stuff, I was able to kind of channel that energy into what I currently have. But the biggest challenge for me was self identity. Um, Other than burnout, obviously burnout was a big one, but self
Sure.
identity was a big thing. And since I've been hanging out with a bunch of like-minded, open-minded people, I've fortunately I've come into my own, and I've luckily been able to be streaming currently in this climate and still have a good time with it now. And now I'm leaving every stream feeling really good, really refreshed, and thinking when I'm going to stream again. And that's kind of what I want to keep, how I want to keep feeling that way. I think a lot of us will struggle with feeling like we're not doing enough or we're not promoting ourselves enough. And honestly, if you just put yourself out there, it's even like a little bit, start your own IG channel, go live, set yourself a schedule. That's gonna go a long way with figuring out who you're gonna be, because you're gonna be doing it constantly. So burnout will be a thing, but we could all make it through it. If you guys want to be streamers, we can help each other out, and we can do what we want essentially.
That's
Yeah.
lovely. So can you tell me then a bit of how you got through those sort of self image, self identity issues? That what was something that really helped you push through that? Was it you know spiritual, internal,
um
soul searching kind of stuff?
I can answer your question with a question real fast.
Okay.
How PG is this?
How PG?
Yeah, how PG is this interview? Like,
Oh,
what can I say?
you can say
Okay.
whatever is on your
Um,
heart, and whatever's within TOS.
all right, all right. Everyone that here that is underage, stay in school, don't do drugs. But for me it was marijuana. I was on
Okay.
Zoloft for a long time for depression and anxiety, but my roommate Maddie got me into weed, and since then I usually hit a bowl before a stream, and I feel amazing, and I get talkative, and I turn into the person that I know that I am, and that's kind of how I want to be perceived. So right now I am not on it, so I wanted to be respectful to the show and stuff like that. But that's one of the things that helped me through it. Another thing was my friends and my family. Well, not my family per se, because my family don't really check out my streams, but it's mostly my friends. So I live with three of my best friends: Maddie, the Messiah, and another guy named Hyman. They're my best friends of all time, and they've been nothing but supportive for me. So actually, Carlos is actually in the chat right now. He's the Messiah. So that's kind of what got me through all that stuff. It made me figure out what I wanted to be and how I wanted to do things. And since then, I just kind of, it's what helps. So it is what it is.
I can totally respect it. I often have a drink or two before starting, and it's a way to sort of ease in to everything. You kind of
Yeah,
you feel a little bit more loose, little
yeah,
more
yeah.
talkative, little more ready to receive the
Calms the
people.
nerves. Calms the
Exactly,
nerves. Yeah.
exactly. No, I totally respect it. Uh, Tell me, Alex, what's one of your favorite memories from streaming?
Actually, it wasn't until recently where I like had the best time on stream. I would play Red Dead Redemption 2 with the Messiah and Black Arrow, and we would just have a heck of a time on, being fellers. That's what we call ourselves. Online, and we would just kind of mess around. Those were some of the best times I've had. But in more recent memory is when I was living in Seattle. Me and Maddie had our own apartment there and stuff like that. And we would play Sea of Thieves every day with Will and whoever else would want to jump on. And experiencing all the bugs that were were prevalent on Sea of Thieves was probably some of my better streams and some of the funnest streams that I've had. Mostly because that's where I met a lot of the cool people that I currently have become regulars, and mostly because it was a weird time in my life where I wasn't sure where I wanted to be headspace wise, and with all the family stuff going on and all that stuff. So Sea of Thieves was one of the things that really broke me away from that stuff, and I just have the greatest times with that. So if you guys ever want to see any of my clips from Sea of Thieves, Will has a bunch of them on his YouTube channel, and I have a bunch of them on my clips channel on my Twitch. So definitely check those out. We have a good time, and those are the best times I've had on stream so far. It's in terms of like being happy and goofing off. So yeah.
Well, that's awesome. I think we do have one of those Sea of Thieves. I noticed one of the clips you gave me for tonight was Sea of Thieves. So
Yeah.
is that something are we in for a bit of the bug demonstration?
Um, sort of. That was a weird clip because that was the one where Thespis dared me, or he told me I wasn't a good pirate. So I gave him my resume, and that's what my resume is.
Okay.
So you'll see.
Alex, you have a full-time job now, and you stream as your, sort of your second
Job
obligation,
or
second job, second
hobby or
responsibility.
yeah.
Do you want to make streaming a full-time gig? Is that something you'd like to do as a career, or are you happy with, the work you're doing and you love doing streaming as, a hobby, as something for fun?
A bit of both. I mean, there's always that drive of wanting to be like a personality, of wanting to, make lots of money playing video games. So, who doesn't want it to do that kind of stuff? But
Sounds pretty awesome.
you're right. But a lot of my efforts will go into work as well because I do want to. Like I said, I want to break it more into the gaming industry, and I do want to be one of the people who makes decisions in terms of story, characters, and stuff like that. That's something where I want, because that's not just being a part of the industry, it's creating something that people would you know either identify with or crap on, either way. Like, it's one of the things that I want to do later on in life. If I can become a full-time streamer, fuck yeah, great, let's fucking sign the papers right now, let's do it. But if that's not possible for me, if it's just more of a if this is more of just like a fun thing for me, which is it is, I would like to keep it that way at that point. So keep them both separated, but still put effort in both of them as much as I can. So
Okay.
yeah, I work 60 hours a week, 6 days a week, have one day off a week, but I still stream 8:30 to 11:30 every day, except for like sometimes Sundays and sometimes Mondays where I have my days off and just chill out for a little bit.
Gotta have a bit of a mental break and reset,
For sure.
rewind.
My mental breaks only consist of me sleeping, cuddling with Ripley, cooking some food, and watching movies. That's my mental
Gotcha.
break, but it's still fun. It's what I look forward to every week too.
Awesome. Terrific. I'm being informed that you are actually also a photographer.
And that you're adopting me, apparently.
I think some people would like to talk about that. Can you talk to me about your photography? This doesn't have to just be about video games.
So when I was in high school, I was really into journalism. I watched a movie called Almost Famous, and it made me want to really start a career in journalism, music journalism specifically. I was really into like heavy metal music, hardcore, pop punk, punk rock, all that stuff. and I signed on with a nationally credited magazine called AMP Magazine. It was my first job, my first like journalism job, and I was fresh out of high school at that point. I was like 18ish, and I interviewed a band called A Day to Remember. They were the
You
first
did?
band I ever interviewed, and I interviewed them at a Subway, if I remember correctly, where there was just a bunch of people. I couldn't really hear the person, but it was a good time. Nonetheless, I still had a great time, figuring out how to converse with people and how to ask proper questions and stuff like that. Since then, I took a backseat from writing and talking, and instead I put my efforts into photography, photojournalism. So photojournalism became a big part of my writing process and stuff like that. So I decided to become like a jack of all trades. I can write, I can edit, and I can be a photographer at the same time. And with that, I got more work from AMP. I signed on with Hales and Horns magazine. So from then on, I was in it for about 10 years as a music photographer. So I would go around SoCal and I'll take a lot of like event photography stuff. So I think one year I went to over 500 concerts, I believe, and I
Wow.
interviewed a bunch of bands and I took a lot of photos. And the biggest bands I've interviewed were like uh, people like Slayer, Slipknot, um, Motorhead, stuff like that. I've interviewed
No
these
way.
giant bands, and Ramstein was one of the biggest ones that I've interviewed. And they offered me a thing of cocaine, which I didn't take, and they were just
For
wild.
legal purposes, he didn't take
Yeah,
it.
no, I didn't okay, but it was my first arena show too, so it was interesting. But yeah, I spent a lot of time with photography. I majored in telecommunications with a emphasis on photojournalism. So I do have like my associates and bachelors based on that stuff. So yeah, I wanted to become a photographer for the longest time. So I have all these photos of bands that I never published, or the ones that were published I can't use anymore because they're copyrighted by another company. So if you guys ever see my
Right.
photos in Alternative Press Magazine, AMP Magazine, Hales and Horn Magazine, and more recently was New Noise Magazine. That's the newest one that just came out. So New Noise Magazine was the last publication that I wrote for, and I'm still a contributor. But since COVID happened and since I've been moving around the U.S., I haven't had a chance to really go to a concert since then. And I'm 30. My back hurts all the time. I can't carry around all that equipment. And I'm especially short. So I didn't have a stool for these arena shows. I had to like tiptoe and I had to like get extra long lens, and it was a pain. It was a pain, but I did love photography. I do miss it. But yeah, I was a photographer for a long time.
That's
Long story short,
that's super cool.
it's weird.
So you said
I
you
used
got
to
to
be.
interview Motorhead.
I got to take photos of them, and I interviewed the guitar player.
That's
I
awesome.
didn't interview Lemmy, unfortunately, which I wish I did, but he wasn't available, unfortunately.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
so since you've interviewed them, is Lemmy actually the king? But I think we can just make a guess that yeah, Elvis wasn't the king. Lemmy's the king.
Lemmy's the king. Yes, I would agree.
Let's see. So I'm going to let's pull up the clips. Let's go take a look at the clips now. We've actually got a few of them.
It's so
So
weird watching myself on video. I'm just like, oh man.
let's see. Our first clip here. This looks like there's a big old dog in here. Do you wanna lead me in, or should I just play it?
Yeah, so someone had redeemed me giving Ripley head pats, and this is my favorite clip of all time because it features Ripley, and I love Ripley very much. She's my dog, and I have her tattooed on me. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll show it after the clip as well. But yeah, this is her. It's
Okay,
just me holding
we'll
her
have
up,
to see the tattoo.
and I'm watching the clip right now. It's so scary.
She's a little
Look at her.
chunky.
Yeah, she's very chunky. It's
Bad.
her breed.
She's
Unfortunately,
scared of
she's
the
just kind of
chair
big,
because it's moving.
but she has the cold
hi,
dead
puppy.
eyes. You know what I mean?
You're on stream.
Like, look at her eyes. She's
Say
like,
hi. Say hi.
look at her. She's a
Thousand
cold and
yard
This is
dead.
stare.
this is my dog.
Yeah, she has that stare, and it's
Had
really
her for
cute.
4 years. She's
She
going
doesn't
on
know what's
5.
going on.
She's
but
amazing.
I love her.
She's a little chunky.
The pupper.
Our call here. So you want to show me the?
The tattoo. I don't know if you can see that. It's not.
Oh,
a
you
good
can.
angle.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
I can. Oh,
She's
I can
wearing
make out a
goggles.
dog nose and eyes.
Yeah,
And
then
she's
goggles
dressed
on
like
top.
Amelia
Yeah,
Earhart.
her she has her little And fun fact about this tattoo, it was made by the guy who did Post Malone's like face tattoos.
Really?
Yeah, it was in Indiana, Newcastle, Indiana is where I got this tattoo. It was on my birthday, on my 28th birthday, I believe. But yeah, I lived in Indiana for like 5 years of my life, so that's where I got this tattooed.
Awesome.
And I made a bad decision, but it was fun.
All right, I'm gonna play the. Let's see. This is my resume. This is my portfolio. This looks
Yeah,
like
there's sound that
power.
goes with that too. So yeah, this is Thespis. He told me I was a bad pirate, and this is my resume to Thespis. I don't know if he's here.
Okay.
It's me yelling. I apologize for your guys' eardrums.
Breaks your chest. You're doing a great job, Alex.
Yeah,
Your
and
whole
Thespis said I would be
boat's
a
on
bad
fire.
pirate. This is my resume.
Your portfolio?
This is my portfolio.
All right, Thespis, I think you owe Alex an apology. He kind of took out this whole brick by himself.
Oh.
There it goes. There it goes.
Seeing blood.
The monkey. He's panting very heavily. It's kind of
Hi.
Were there-
I love Thespis. Thespis is such a pot stirrer.
Nikolai is great. Yeah, he's a good guy. I met him through Will as well, and it's so weird how you guys all know each other now too. It's actually really cool how two friend groups just kind of mesh together, and it's a beautiful thing.
I love it. I'm so blessed to know all those guys, and you as well.
Yeah,
this
I
is-
just recently met you, and you're freaking amazing, man. You're a really cool guy. So I'm really honored that you even reached out to me for this. You know, little old me, and this is fun. I'm having a good time.
I didn't even know the wealth of creativity that you have. I just knew you as Alex, the guy who streams, not Alex, the guy who's toured the country taking photos of bands and has written code for Activision. I didn't know any of that. I'm getting to know a lot more about you. I'm really thrilled that we actually, had time to sit down and get to know each other.
Yeah, it's been a good experience so far.
Okay, I think I have one last one that
Uh-huh.
we'll look at. This is the Red Dead clip.
Oh, this is the one that made me and Rel and Messiah just crack up because we have a running joke that every time I play Red Dead single player, my horse crashes and I flip over. And if you play the clip right now, you'll see what I mean.
Oh.
I fell off.
Oh, did you fall off? Oh shit. Oh shit. Here, call your horse.
Rel, wait. Alright. I'm on Rel.
All right, cool. Oh shit. Oh fuck, dude! What the fuck? Oh my god!
Where did that guy come from?
I don't know, but my favorite part of the entire thing is hearing Rel. Just hearing Rel just crack up.
The wheeze, the classic
Yeah,
BA wheeze.
Yeah, I love it. I love Rel. He's one of my favorite people, and just playing games with him has always been a pleasure. So
I concur. So if you could have a reboot, a remake, or remaster of any game, what game would you pick?
okay, so I lied a little bit in the beginning where I said I didn't read the questions. This is the one question I did read, and I had a conversation about this with Maddie when
Okay.
she was in here. She's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm reading this question. What would you like to?" She mentioned Morrowind, which I agree. I would love to see like an Elder Scrolls Morrowind remake, but that's not my answer. My answer would be Mega Man Legends 1 and 2. Mostly because Mega Man doesn't get enough love, and as you can see, I don't know if you can see from the top, I have like a Mega Man
I
shrine.
can see his feet.
And yeah, it's all blue up there because that's the blue bomber, and he's like one of my favorite gaming characters, I guess you can say. And Mega Man Legends 1 and 2 are super underrated. People tend to rag on it quite a bit. So I would love to see that be remade and redone in a different light, and just make it a whole Mega Man RPG based on that, and that would be incredible. It was between two different games though, not gonna lie.
Okay.
Legends 1 and 2 and Onimusha. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Onimusha. It's
I don't know what
Onimusha
that
1,
is.
2, and 3. It's an original samurai inspired Souls like game that came out for the PlayStation 1. They recently redid it in HD, but they didn't release it like out of the remake. And I would love to see that game redone again because the art style is great. I love horror-esque style, like Chinese horror type games too, and that's kind of one of the ones that just sticks out to me the most and stuck with me for a long time. So if you guys out there want a good game to play, you guys have a PC or a PS1, get Onimusha. It's a great game, and it's for sale I think on Steam for quite cheap. So definitely check it out if you guys haven't.
Okay. Fantastic. That was a very, very thought out answer.
Yeah, like I said, I had time for that one. I had time for that one. And Carlos agrees on chat there.
Yeah.
Agreed, that's my boy.
That's my boy. Who inspires you the most?
To do what exactly, or like what in what context?
That's up to you.
Oh man, that's
Who
hard.
who inspires you the most? Could be gaming. Could be someone in your family who overcame something treacherous that really kind of made you respect them a lot. Could be a public figure. Could be one of your friends that we don't know.
There's a few different people that actually do inspire me. I keep mentioning them, but I look up to them so much. It's Black Arrow, Silent Will. I say that so much, but I don't think they understand how much they mean to me in terms of like life experiences and the stuff that I went through and they were there for. They uplifted me so many times, and I've seen them go through so much and still continue on. Like Arrow deals with a lot of like family, like medical stuff, and to see him still hit that live button and still put on his persona and be chipper and happy on stream and go through so much off of stream, it's inspiring me to keep moving forward with what I want to do. Same for Will. He's going through so much, but he still messages me anytime if he's having a bad time. He will message me and say, "Hey, are you okay too? I want to make sure you're also doing okay." And people like that are the type of people that I need in my life, because I get in my own head. I think we all do, and we need that person that pulls us up. And I know I don't say this enough, but Matacorn and the Messiah, they help me so much. Maddie's away from her family. She used to live in Indiana, and she moved down here with me. So like, she's away from everyone, and she still continues forward with her life. Same for Carlos. He just lost his dad, so like he's still moving forward though, and he went through like a big divorce and all that stuff. So like, I'm still learning how to do things, and I'm still kind of learning as I go along. This 30-year-old man still acting like a kid, But there's so many people in my life that inspire me, and it's hard to really just pick one person. But if I were to pick a celebrity, that's a different story. A celebrity, I guess the guy that inspires me the most, or the girl, or whoever. I would say this is gonna sound weird, but Brie Larson, just because she
Okay.
puts up with so much shit from all the like nerdy fanboys from like Marvel and Star Wars and all this bullshit, but she still made a like YouTube channel that is doing fairly well, and she likes to speak up for people that are voiceless currently, and that's fucking great. She's not a turf, which is awesome. And
That is
I don't know,
awesome.
man. This is a lot of people that I do admire and I do love. And I don't really look up to celebrities the way I do my friends, but there are some celebrities out there, of course, that obviously mean well. And I don't know them personally, but I would like to think that there are people out there that genuinely want to see other people succeed and want to help other people. So those are the people currently that inspire me.
Okay, and that again, that doesn't mean that this is going to be written in stone, and then later you can't change your answer. But I love
No,
the
that's
answer.
it. You write that on my tombstone. That's
I
it.
love the answer, and I love I don't really know Maticorn or Messiah very well yet, but I do know Black Arrow and Will, and I love those guys.
Yeah, they're great
I
people.
hope sometime I'm going to love them as much as you do, but I love those guys a lot.
Good. If you love them,
very
you love
fantastic
everyone.
people. What are you working on right now that you're excited about or that you're really proud of? And now that I know that you code as well, can you tell us something as a bonus sort of addendum to this question? Can you tell us something that you're working on without giving away too much and breaking any NDAs?
Unfortunately not in that part, because I actually I don't code yet. I am actually looking into coding. I'm part of a special operations team,
Right,
which does something a little bit different from from them. But I do appreciate that. But I was working on a game called Color Quest for a while. With one of my friends from Indiana. He was making the artwork. I was writing the story, and my other friend was actually doing a lot of the programming. It never came to fruition. It's never going to happen, unfortunately. But that made me want to write my own story, and I've been in secret writing small character parts on the side while I work. It's something I've really shown anyone. It's kind of one of my own personal things where I like this character. This is what I want in the game, and maybe hopefully if I meet other like-minded developers, we can probably get something going.
Gotcha.
So in terms of gaming wise, that's all I'm really at. But in terms of like content creation wise, I do have a few things planned for 2021. Retro Nights is one of them. I'm gonna bring that back in a pretty big way, hopefully. And then on top of that, I'm hoping I can do another podcast. I had a podcast with Maticorn. We were called Player Support. And if you guys haven't checked it out, we're on Spotify and we're on Podbean, all that stuff. Hear us talk about weird shit and about the gaming industry and the issues that follow along with it. I want to bring that back. I want to bring something like that back with people who are like-minded and someone who has a fresh perspective on things. So yeah, I look for Player Support, the Rebirth, and look for the Retro Nights remake coming to my channel and my other social pages near you.
Yeah, awesome. I'm excited to see Retro Nights. I don't think I got to enjoy one yet, so I'm excited to see that come back, and I'll definitely be around for those. Alex, what is your favorite word? Literally any word. What's your favorite word?
So I was having such a hard time like figuring this out because I did read this part too. I wasn't sure which word is my favorite because I'm pretty dumb. I'm not very expansive vocabulary wise. One word that I started using recently that I think is really endearing for people. Sorry, it's a word called himbo, which is a male equivalent
Himbo.
of like a himbo, but himbo.
Yep.
But it means it's so wholesome to me because a large man who isn't very bright but very handsome.
An
And I'm like,
attractive
okay,
but unintelligent man.
like that's the dream, right? So I love using the word himbo. It's one of my favorites. If you guys know me, I love anime sometimes, like Full Metal Alchemist and stuff like that. There's a guy named Alexander Armstrong who is the exact definition of a himbo. If you guys haven't checked him out, check him out. He's a very muscular guy. But yeah, himbo, favorite word. Yours is predicated, I believe.
Yes.
Right? So
Yes.
why is it predicated? Why is it predicated?
I like the way that feels in my mouth. And I don't know, I don't get to use it that often.
Also, girth is another of my favorite words. Because it's just so nasty, it just sounds gross. Like it doesn't need to be nasty, but girth, it's like the word moist. It just makes you feel a little weird. I think any word that makes you feel a little funny, I think it's a good word, unless it's like really bad and like you shouldn't say it. But like
Right.
you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Okay, now we're at the this or that section, which you couldn't have prepared for if you had tried. We're going to play this or that, and these are quick, simple questions. We don't have to assign too much meaning to them if you don't like. If you do like, I'll give you a few extra seconds to answer. But
Sounds good.
We're doing rapid fire this or
Rapid
that.
fire.
All right.
Okay.
Alex, Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
Rain or snow?
Wait. Sorry. Shit. Because Mexican Coke is really good too. So like, what's Coke? What kind of Coke? What kind of Coke are you talking about here?
Coke or Pepsi?
Ah,
This is all you get.
I'm gonna be that guy. I'm gonna say Pepsi.
Okay,
I like the color
Pepsi.
blue.
Rain or snow?
Rain.
Hot or iced?
Iced.
Rich or famous?
Oh, that's really good. Rich. No, I'll be an asshole about rich. Eat the rich. So famous.
New or old?
New, because anything old's not very progressive. So new.
Music or podcasts?
Shit. In terms of like culturally, music for sure, because I feel like that's expansible. Everyone can listen to a song even if it's English or Spanish and still vibe with it. Versus a podcast where if it's a different language, you'd be like, what the hell's going on? So music for sure.
TV or movies?
Movies 100. Whoa, dang. Why you gotta do hard-hitting questions like this? Okay. I'm a movie buff. So movies.
Okay. Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network?
Cartoon Network, hands down.
Sweet or
Wait.
savory?
Wait, Avatar Last Airbender was on Nickelodeon, correct?
It was,
Because
yeah.
if that was the case, then Nickelodeon.
Okay.
Nickelodeon. Sorry.
You're okay. Sweet or savory?
Savory.
Okay. Keyboard or controller?
Keyboard.
Tabasco or Cholula?
Cholula, hands down. Cholula.
Easy.
Delicious.
Easy.
Delicious.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Instagram or Twitter?
Depends if I'm feeling petty. If it's petty, Twitter. If I'm feeling I like Twitter. Because Twitter has the best memes.
Okay.
So Twitter.
Mountains or beach?
Mountains. I love the mountains. One thing I missed the most in Indiana was being surrounded by mountains. So mountains it is.
Train or plane?
Train. It's really old and outdated, and we shouldn't have trains anymore in the U.S. because it causes a lot of pollution. But trains are really fun to be on. So the counterpoint. So trains.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs, hands down. I love them both, but dogs.
Beer or wine?
I haven't had wine yet, so I'm not sure actually. So undecided.
You've never had
but
wine?
I never had wine. I don't even like beer. Beer is disgusting. It tastes like pee.
Wild.
But unless it's like a really like sweet beer, then beer, I guess. But I know wine could be sweet, so
Interesting.
yeah. So I guess I'll say beer for now. Beer.
Okay, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be a softball for you, but GIF or GIF?
GIF. Okay, it's GIF. It's GIF. The creator is wrong. He deserves to rot. It's GIF.
Fantastic. All right, you passed.
Would I win?
I don't know. Whatever you
cool.
want.
I'm cool with that.
You
I
can
like
have whatever you like.
I love that this or that stuff because like, fuck, dude, it fucks me up. I'm just like, oh shit. I mean, it's little things that you don't think about, and you're like, oh wait, yeah. So I appreciated that. That was great.
I like that you actually had to go back on a couple of them. That was.
You,
I think you took it more seriously than I expected.
I'm sorry.
No, it's great. I love it. It's great. I love it. It makes for a good interview show.
Everyone hates me because I picked Pepsi now. See what happened? Public enemy number one, just like Spider-Man.
What is the best advice you've ever received? Could be any flavor of advice from anyone. What is the best advice that you have ever received?
I had a teacher in 10th, 11th grade. It was my journalism teacher. I was actually the school editor-in-chief, unfortunately, and I was really bad at it. But he pulled me aside one time, and his name was Mr. Gebhardt. And he was this muscular man, bald. He looked like Moby a little bit, but just more buffer. And he told me, Alex, no matter what you do in life, have conviction. Don't remove that conviction from anything that you do. So if you have an opinion, if you try to go in on something in terms of like creation or artistic wise, writing wise, have that conviction. Don't falter from it. And if your conviction is wrong, you learn from it and you move on and you develop better conviction on top of that. So, just have conviction is the best advice I've ever heard, given to me by my wise master in the 10th grade. And that's what I've tried to use that in my life as much as possible. And the first time I ever actually, put it to use was when I decided to move out to Indiana. And I was like, you know what? Everyone's telling me it's a bad idea. And in hindsight, it was a terrible idea. I had nowhere to live. I didn't have a plan. I just was going. And it turned out for the better. I met a bunch of cool people and I got to travel. And I'm here now. I'm back in California, but still, like, it's all good. It's the best advice I've ever had.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's really it's beautiful advice. I love that. This is actually the whole point of this show is for me to just find out what the best advice everyone's ever received is, so I can.
So you can take it. It's your self-help advice. You can find the proper podcast. So you're like, I'll just create it. It's fine. I like it.
Tell me something that most people wouldn't guess about you just from watching you.
That I'm a very short guy. I'm 5'2". I'm very short. I'm 5'2". Yes. I've heard all these short jokes under the sun.
Wow.
Unfortunately, but it's okay. It happens. I'm very comfortable with my height now. A lot of people on dating sites, unfortunately, say must be 6 foot and above. I'm like, are you trying to date Kratos or are you just like just being body shaming? I don't fucking know. But yeah, I'm 5'2", and I'm pretty short, and I'm pretty happy with how tall I am, except for when I'm at concerts taking photos because I can't see over the stage. But I make it work, and that's why I'm so sassy. Because I'm short. I'm closer to hell, as people say. So
Well, plus you have a little bit of Sicilian, right? So maybe
a little bit. It's a
maybe
little
the
bit of
short
that.
answers.
It's a little bit of that flavor, that spice.
Well, Alex, what would you like to close with? Is there anything important to your heart that you'd like to just bring up, shout it out?
Yeah.
What are your
I think
closing thoughts for today?
I think my whole thing is that don't be afraid to be who you are. A lot of the times, people like to fit a mold to kind of appease other people and to make sure you're not causing a stir. But honestly, if you're true to who you are, as long as you're not an asshole, as long as you're not like a racist, then continue being you, continue being the best you that you can be, and don't stop reaching that knowledge, man. Like knowledge is a big thing. Don't stop learning. If you feel like your opinions are being infringed on or you're getting so pissed off about something that isn't making sense to you, take the time out of your day to read up on what's going on and what you're experiencing, because maybe your opinions are wrong and maybe you need to take some time to reflect on that. And yeah, just be true to yourself and never stop pursuing knowledge. That's my 2 things that I want people to kind of take away from at least talking to me and coming into my stream. I just want people to love each other. Don't be an asshole.
I love that.
That's it.
That's wonderful. That is probably in the top 5 of best advice I've ever received. So I'm gonna hang on to that. We'll make a little splash.
Little splash.
Well, thank you so much for joining me and letting me interrogate you for an hour.